I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings. Wow, why am I so high on the screen here? There we go. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all having a nice Friday night. I definitely lost North Texas, but it's looking like I'm going to win Colorado State. So looking like 1-1 for me. North Texas got dusted, man. It was looking in the first quarter. It was looking like it was going to be a real fun game too. In the second half, it just wasn't very fun. But yeah, coming into the weekend, having a good week. Hopefully that momentum continues into Saturday. We're going to talk about Cubs Brewers, but I don't know. Trevor, we already knew was a good chance of not showing up. I didn't know. I don't know why Spoon's not here. So I might not have talked to him about it. So we can just go through it real quick, and then I got Raichel coming on. We're going to talk about some NFL too in a second.
All right. Honestly, I mean, I'll just go because it's kind of, I mean, this is like a coin flip type of a game, honestly, in my opinion, anyway. I'm probably going to take a small bet on the Cubs. I bet the Tigers today, small too. Again, we touched on this earlier. It's kind of like coin flips situations. Do I think that Shota gets absolutely tattooed? He might, but I also think that it's, God damn it.
Run it a second.
Yeah. I also think that it's a possible letdown, and I'm not saying this to take digs at Trevor either. I truly believe what Mizorowski did his last game was very, very impressive. And his last, I think might even be his last couple times out. It's been very impressive. But if he does start tomorrow, is in a different situation. I do feel like that's kind of a letdown spot for him. I'm not betting the Cubs because I think Mizorowski is in a letdown spot and the Cubs are going to destroy him. I'm just saying that I just feel like there's too many coin flips in this game. And now that the Cubs have life all of a sudden, like, I don't know. I think the bullpens are kind of a wash, especially with the day off. I think that you're going to see just like what we've seen in this Mariners game. Obviously, it's in the 12th now, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see some starters come out of the bullpen for both of these games. Obviously, it's a winner-go-home type of situation. So I don't think that you can look at the starters and then look at the bullpens and then make an accurate decision on how this game's going to go. I think it's all going to depend on the arms that you see, are going to depend on what the score is and how tight it is and whatnot. So it's going to be the Cubs for me. I hope the Brewers take a little bit of money so I can get a little bit better of a price. But again, I'm not in love with Shota. I'm not in love with this Cubs bet. But I do think that paying -1, close to 140-ish in an elimination game, a little bit nuts for me, unless you really, really like it.
Yeah. So, look, when the Brewers dropped Game 3 to the Cubs, nice pass there. Sorry, I have the game on right here. When the Brewers dropped Game 3 to the Cubs and it went to 2-1, the metaphor I used was the Titanic, and I said the Brewers had been struck by an iceberg, and everyone's on board, and no one thinks anything is wrong. Everyone on board thinks everything is okay, but there's a few people on who know. And that's where we were after Game 3. We're now at the point of the movie where the ship is nearly capsized and it's vertical, and Jack and Rose are on top looking down into the cold water, and people are falling off, like Brewers fans are falling off and smacking themselves on the propeller. That's where we are in the movie right now. It's going down. This collapse has been in the making for a month now. It was clear as day. It was written in the stars. This is not a team that has what it takes, this Brewers team. I mean, they were fun. They had enough talent to win some games. Certainly, we had some good laughs. People won some bets. People lost some bets. It was a fun season. But when it comes down to it, this is September now, and some teams just don't have it. It's okay. Only a few teams have it. Just the Brewers don't. It's that simple. Spoon made it, by the way. So that's as clear as I can put it.
And to Raul in the comments, yeah, the Brewers got to Shota before. Yes, you are correct.
Spoon, were you sleeping?
What are you doing?
I was getting ready for bed, yeah. It's late.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock on a Friday night. What are we doing?
Well, we won't keep you. Just hop in. Cubs or Brewers?
Cubs money line. This is really easy. I think this will be really interesting to see Mizorowski on the big stage here. I think he blows up. It would be really fun to watch him just not even make it out of that first inning. But we'll see. It should be a really great baseball game no matter what happens.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I'm expecting. I think the Brewers will make it make it interesting late. I'm thinking it'll be 7-1 Cubs, and then the Brewers score like 3 or 4 in the 8th. But by that point, Trevor's in a pool of his own piss. This is gonna be hilarious. I have the tweet. The tweet's waiting to be sent. I've had it typed for a while. It's in the chamber. I'm ready to fire that tweet about the Brewers. So, all right, Spoon, go get some sleep.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Later,
buddy.
let me switch it over. Scott said he'll be here in 15 minutes. That was like 8 minutes ago. So we might just hang out for a couple minutes here. If you guys have any questions about college football games tomorrow, we can talk. I mean, he'll be here in a minute or two, but just kill time, talk about some games for tomorrow. Somebody asked Sauce about the North Texas pick. Yeah, dude, pick. You know how you spot a losing better is they talk about the losses, like other people's losses. Yeah, man, picks lose sometimes. Happens. Oh, Washington, big play. For those of you that had Washington, I didn't bet that one, but that's a big play if you're on Washington. DeMond Williams just ran it down to like the 11. Texas money line. Yeah, I did take Texas money line. They're being really cagey with the John Mateer news, and I suppose if Mateer plays, that kind of sucks. But I don't know how effective. He had surgery 18 days ago. Like, how effective is he going to be? I really think they're just using that strategically. The injury report, right? Just they don't have to disclose, so they're like, oh yeah, he might play. And I personally think behind the scenes they know this guy's not going to play. I'm so glad I took the over on North Texas. Yeah, that was pretty sweat-free. Would they score 63 points? What's your favorite play tomorrow? I mean, my favorite play would be the one that a bet that you can't get. Favorite bet that you can still get? I guess Iowa State. I think you can still get the 2.5. Touchdown Washington, by the way. Can you still get Iowa State at 2.5 right now? Yeah, you can still get Iowa State at 2.5. You could still get that. I like that one. I didn't play that one. Famous words from Kyle. Dude, it's winning. Like, I wish I could say I played it. The bet's winning, you jackass. Give us the one you can't get. Oh, okay. My strongest position right now, Oklahoma plus 3.5 looks pretty good, right? That's because they're now laying a point. I like Wisconsin plus 5 a lot, but again, I mean, you can't get it. Colts minus 4.5. There's a strong one. You can't even come close to getting that. All right. Scott's here. All right. Scott, how's it going, man?
Good. I didn't realize you were waiting for me this whole time. Now I just feel bad.
Dude, it was like 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, I know you said 12:10, so I tried to catch it on the dot, but either way. Sorry about that.
We ripped through the baseball game quickly, so not a big deal at all. So, all right. I've actually already talked about a couple of these games, so I'll let you have the floor. This first one is Broncos-Jets. This is the early morning game. I'm on the under 44.5. That's the bet I actually have. I kind of want to take the Jets, but I don't think it's a good bet. So I'm going to put the under up because that's the bet I have. But let the record show that I kind of think the Jets can make it interesting. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, for the record, I co-sign the under. I think it should be a pretty ugly international game, but I am going to take Denver. I got 6.5 at -114. Jets, only winless team in the league. They have a record, not in their favor, but it is a record. They're the only team ever to be 0-5 and to not force a single turnover. Only team in NFL history to do that. So this is an extremely awful football team. You're looking at the injuries they have, the defense, which can't do anything, and the fact that Denver, off a big win against Philly, you could argue is a letdown spot. But at the end of the day, there's a tier gap here, and I think the Jets' offense, simply put, not good. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. Defense can't force a turnover. I think Denver's the better coach team, the better overall team. Good enough for me. Give me Denver -7 or 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, the reasons to lean towards Denver are pretty apparent. This Jets team is bad. Man, why is it still sitting at 7? I mean, there must be somebody with influence on the Jets side keeping this number from going up. But the reason I do, and maybe I'm getting caught with my nose in the spreadsheet a little bit with this one, but I can't help but see how efficiently the Jets have been moving the ball. The Jets have been terrible, but it's not because the offense isn't working. In their last 2 games, they lost both of them. In their last 2 games, they're averaging 7 yards per play. 7 yards per play. That's excellent. I think that would be first in the NFL. Their offense is moving the ball. 62.6% success rate. That's elite. So their offense is working. They just keep figuring out ways to kill the drive. A dumb penalty, a fumble, and at some point maybe you just say, you know what, that's who the Jets are. But at another point, you could look at that and be like, yo, this offense is kind of working and flying under the radar. I'm not overly impressed with Denver. I don't think their offense is any good. I think the Jets' defense is better than the numbers indicate. I don't like how they have all those injuries, though. Yeah, I'm on the under. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate. I can't make a realistic case for the Jets, but I don't think Denver's very good.
No, I get it. The point is, you're not really arguing about the team, the Jets themselves. You're arguing about Denver just being power ranked a bit too high. So I get what you're saying, but I mean, watching this team as a Jets fan, I'm good. That's all I'm going to say. I think I've seen enough Jets football for the season, but I'll keep watching because that's what I signed up for.
I didn't know you were a Jets fan. I'm sorry. Condolences, bro.
It's all good. I'm used to it. It's fine.
This next one, we're on the same side here. I didn't bet this one, but I'm considering it. This is a perfect spot. You got the Steelers coming off the bye week. I'm pretty sure, I don't have it in front of me, I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin against rookie quarterbacks is very impressive record. I remember talking about that, I think it was last year or a couple of years ago. You don't happen to have that stat in front of you, do you, Mike Tomlin?
I do not. I have a separate stat of Mike Tomlin off the bye, but I know the stat you're referring to. I just don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, he has a very good record against rookie quarterbacks. I just don't happen to have it in front of me.
Yeah, but off the bye, Mike Tomlin 14-4. So there we go. That's straight up, but I do like Pittsburgh in this game. I got 4.5 -118. I know it's mostly 5.5 now. I'm fine with that too. Think the win by at least a touchdown. Terrible travel spot for Cleveland. You had a quarterback making his first start last week. Then you got, I'd say, beaten by a Carson Wentz game-winning drive. Ouch. And now you're flying back to Pittsburgh. Not a great travel spot. Team's not very good anyway. But Pittsburgh off the bye, watching the entire division lose last week. Think they can do enough here to frustrate a rookie quarterback, making his second ever start. I think Rodgers and Metcalf should look fine against this team as well. But Pittsburgh at home, I think it's a great spot off the bye. Give me Pittsburgh -5.5.
Well, you sound a little more confident with the offense because I don't like this matchup for the Steelers offense at all. Aaron Rodgers has been struggling with man coverage for a few years now, and against this pass rush, we know Aaron Rodgers doesn't have much mobility anymore. I don't like the matchup for the Steelers offensively at all. In fact, if it was any other situation, I'd probably be looking for a way to get to the Browns. But there's no way I could take Dillon Gabriel coming off, flying overseas, going into Pittsburgh to seeing a Steelers defense that's healthier than they have been all season, coming off a bye week. They're going to be sending the house at them. And look, Dillon Gabriel, I really like how, not that he played well overseas. He did cover my +4.5 for me, but not that he played well overseas, but he did get the ball out. He didn't make. I just don't want him to try to do too much. So maybe he could try to come in with a conservative game plan. I don't see the Browns offense doing anything in this game. So I think the Steelers defense can cover this number by themselves. I'm not too big on the Steelers offense. I'll say Steelers win 22-9 in an ugly one.
Yeah, total's 38, so I think it's going to be an ugly game too. I'm not really sold on Pittsburgh's offense either, but I do think off the bye, you're looking at Cleveland's defense, which was fine for the most part this season, but at the end of the day, Carson Wentz still went for 236, had a game-winning drive. They benched Addison the entire first quarter. Jefferson still had 120-plus yards. I know Jefferson's great. The point is, though, there were some holes in this Cleveland defense as the game went along. I think Pittsburgh off the bye can do enough to exploit it. As you said, maybe not a lot, but 21 points might cover this. So good enough for me.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even really like the matchup. I just think the spot is too advantageous. I think they'll stumble their way to a -5.5 cover. See, we're on the same side of that one. Next one, Rams, Ravens. We're on the same side of this one too. Although I will say I'm not nearly as confident as when I first placed the bet. When I first placed the bet, I was like, oh my God, this Ravens team's terrible. I took Rams plus -7, and I was like, oh my, this Ravens team is absolutely awful. They got Marlon Humphrey back. They're not quite as injured this week as they were last week. Cooper Rush could, I guess, get settled. Personally, I think Rams coming off a loss with extra rest, it's the play, and I do have this bet. I have to admit that I'm not as confident as I was when I first placed it. So you're on the Rams too, right?
Yeah, I'm on the Rams. It's tough to back the Ravens when they're allowing that many points per game. You're looking at Baltimore defensively. They've allowed at least 37 points in 4 of the first 5 games. The one exception was against Joe Flacco, so this defense has been awful. You mentioned a couple people coming back. They're still without Roquan, still without Lamar. That's a pretty big deal for me. You mentioned the extra rest. Pretty brutal loss, too, by the Rams, so there's a bit of a chip on their shoulder after losing to Mac Jones in the last game of Thursday Night Football. I get that it's a home game for Baltimore. Do I care? Not really. I mean, we saw Houston go into that building and drop 40 and change, and I don't think we like Houston's offense at all. It looked like they no-showed the entire game. I get they might look a little bit better, but I still like this offense with Stafford, with Devontae, with Puka, of course. A lot of weapons. I don't like their secondary for Baltimore. I think it's a good spot. Not to mention the pass rush for the Rams. I think can frustrate Cooper Rush a lot. And Derrick Henry's fallen off the face of the earth. So I think it's a good matchup for the Rams. I'll take him at 7, 7.5.
All right. I agree. I took him at 7, and I just, when I first bet it, I was really confident and got up to 7.5. It was looking good. It looks like there was some buyback at the 7.5, but now we get to the next one, and I strongly disagree with
I'm happy about it. We have some content. We can start.
Yeah, I before we get into it, the market agrees with him strongly, and I don't care. I think the market's wrong here.
Okay, make your case. Let's go.
So I got a terrible number, which I don't think I've got this bad of a number on a bet in quite a while. I'm on under.
Your case is not off to a great start for the
Yeah, I got a terrible number. Market hates it. I'm on the under in this one, and I think this game is perfectly set up for 7-minute drive after 7-minute drive. We're going to see what did we see the Lions do in their last primetime road game? A big-time primetime road game. Was actually another AFC opponent. It was the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. And what did Detroit do in that game? They ran
the 38 points.
Yeah, they ran the football and moved as slow as possible. There were instances in the game where Jared Goff was standing there, staring at the play clock, waiting. They made it obvious that they were making a point to move as slowly as possible. In fact, the Lions are 31st in seconds between snaps this year. It's very clear that that's what Dan Campbell wants to do, especially in these big games, move as slowly as possible. Yes, they did score 38 points against Baltimore. Baltimore might have the worst defense in the NFL. On the road in Kansas City against Spagnuolo is slightly different. I like how the Chiefs, they pose a threat in terms of the pass rush, and they've got a couple pieces in the secondary. They've been a little vulnerable to the run this year. So I think the table is set. I feel like we know exactly what Detroit's going to try to do in this game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to hold on to the football as long as possible. 6, 7, 8-minute drives here from Detroit. What is Kansas City going to do? The same damn thing. What is Detroit's weakest aspect so far defensively? The short pass, the underneath throw. Passer rating against the Lions in passes 7 yards or shorter or 6 yards or shorter, they're 28th in the NFL. Mahomes loves it. Dinkin and Duncan We're talking 7-minute drive, 7-minute drive, 7-minute drive. This is going under the total. Market disagrees. I don't care. This is going to be a low-scoring game. I'll say 22-20 Lions win.
What happened to 22-19 that you told me the other day? What happened? They made the extra point this time?
Is that what I told you? We'll stick
you
with
said
that.
Something around there, yeah. And then I asked you if Butker missed an extra point along the way.
Yeah.
But
well, whatever I sent you in the text, you know what? I'm gonna go look at it. I want to keep.
I think you said 22-19 or something, but I'm gonna disagree.
I said 21-19.
I was very close. Either way, same ballpark. But point is, I'll go with the over in this game. I understand, historically speaking, it is a great under spot for a Chiefs game in a primetime spot. But you mentioned Spagnuolo's defense. I think we're power rating them too highly based on reputation. Because the defense has not been very good lately. Now, Baltimore, they ended up dominating 137-20. The Jacksonville game last week was not pretty at all defensively. A couple of bad penalties, especially, and the Jaguars went up and down the field a couple of times there, as that game turned out to be a high-scoring one. I do think both offenses, though, are just very potent. A lot of weapons. Detroit's defense, are you sold by this defense? Because you could argue garbage time played a factor against Jake Browning and the Bengals to give up 24. Beat Cleveland. I think we know Cleveland stinks. The Ravens scored 30. The Bears scored 21. Packers scored 27. I'm not sure how good both defenses actually are in this point. You could argue that the Chiefs might ramp it up a bit. I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm looking at two offenses that can generate big plays. I'm looking at two defenses that I think are vulnerable to allowing big plays. I mean, you mentioned the Lions being bad at guarding the short pass. That is true, but I do think both offenses can light it up in terms of a couple of splash plays. Mahomes is playing well. I think the Lions offense should have looked good too. I get what you're saying, but I feel like the Chiefs defense is being based on historical precedent as opposed to what I've seen this season. I'm just not as high on this defense as other people are because the Chiefs haven't really shown me much defensively for the last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't even disagree. This bet on the under is not based on that I think defenses are going to play well. I don't even know how many stops we'll see, but all it takes is one 8-minute drive that ends in a field goal that completely torpedoes the over. I mean, if we're seeing 7-minute drives, they better end in 6, or else you're going to be in trouble. You're going to need a high touchdown rate on these drives. I just think we're going to see long, slow drives. That's my prediction for the game. Long, slow drives. Not necessarily stops. Long, slow drives.
Well, I do want to ask you, though, because we talked about the total. Any thoughts on the side? Because I thought this was definitely the trappiest one in the card.
I kind of want to take the Lions, but it's hard to, the Chiefs are going to lose again? I wish the Chiefs beat the Jags, then I would take the Lions.
Yeah, once again, everything's based historically speaking, though. Everyone's looking at this game going, well, the Chiefs can't lose again. Like, surely they can't do it. I feel like it's based too much on what they've done in years past as opposed to what the team is right now. Denver, though, outside the dome, could be a tricky spot. We'll see. I think it's going to be a close game either way. I'll go 28-27.
Who?
I'm going to go with Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just lace up the boots and handicap it, this line is telling me that on a neutral right now, the Chiefs would be about a point better than Detroit. I don't think based on what we've seen so far that's accurate. I think the Detroit probably be a point above Kansas City. Therefore, this line should be like KC -1. So maybe I guess I would lean Detroit in that aspect, but I don't know if I'll be playing a side in this one.
That's kind of how I feel. If you argue Detroit's better, that's fine. If you think it's a coin flip game, that's fine too. Give me the 2.5 in a coin flip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would agree. It would probably be Detroit in terms of a side.
Yeah.
Scott, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, find me on Twitter, Rice Show Radio, doing a bunch of shows with SGPN, Tennis Gambling Podcast, NBA Gambling Podcast, MLB Gambling Podcast. If this game ever ends, we're in the 13th inning right now. But yeah, find me at a bunch of pods on SGPN.
Cool. Scott, have a good night. We're going to talk. The Grizz is taking over. Talk to you later, man.
Peace.
Welcome to the Grizzly Den, where our Montana Grizzlies stayed undefeated. Now, before we get to the panic mode that Toast was on, before we get to Trevor's troubles at the bar on a Saturday night when the Grizz were on, let me be the first to welcome you and wish you a happy homecoming. What does that mean in beautiful Missoula, Montana? That means the retro jerseys are back. The burnt copper and gold, and they're going even way back with the bear on the side of the helmet. And we all know, that is one sexy bear on the helmet of the Montana Grizzlies. So getting to Toast in how he was panicking. I get a message at halftime. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, uh-oh. Like we're in trouble or something. I'm like, we were down 24-18. And so then I was just imagining he's just like going off in his mind about this. We don't have the magic of the Grizzlies Stadium. How are we going to do this? Yo, settle down. This isn't the playoffs. This is Idaho State on the road. We've taken care of this before. We've been in tougher jams than this against teams like Idaho State. And then I couldn't just imagine what was going on in his mind when we were down 10 going into the fourth quarter. What he didn't know was Wing was suspended for the first half of the game, and that once he got in there, our cover linebacker, things started to slowly fall into place, which led to a shutout in the fourth quarter. Now, I'm not saying that, it would have been Katie bar the door. We would have crushed him from the beginning if he wasn't suspended. By the way, he was suspended and nobody knew it. At least you guys didn't know it in the country. Why? Because during the Idaho game in the third quarter, he was called for targeting and no one knew. There was no coverage of it. It was the weirdest thing I ever think. All of a sudden you go to Egress, boom, Wing is suspended for the first half. But that's either here nor there. We got to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. This is getting a little bit concerning right now, but it's not overwhelmingly concerning because as the game went along, easy for me to say, we started taking a little bit control of the game everywhere but the scoreboard. So the great thing we can say is, maybe I'm the only one that calls him this, but Mr. Electricity, Michael Wortham, went friggin' off. The FCS Player of the Week, 296 all-purpose yards, 2 for 2, 49 yards and a touchdown through the air, 126 yards on 6 catches, 7 carries, 49 yards and 2 touchdowns. He just went off. The best player in FCS college football, probably the whole land, but we're not allowed to say that because we only play at the FCS level. But that's all right, because he helped us out of the abyss and got us in. Now Gilman, the best running back in the country, obviously, he was stoned, and he was stoned at the line of scrimmage. Not stoned like me, stoned at the line of scrimmage. When we couldn't figure out how to get him going, that's what Bobby Houck was really concerned about during the game, that they couldn't get him going. And that was on the coaching staff. Like, they took it. It's like, we should be able to figure that out, But it looked like, as a layman, just, going just lined up right up the middle, nothing. But they got it going in the fourth quarter that complemented the great Kali Ayat. Never going to get that name right. But so we really we had things going throughout the whole game, through the passing game, which was just elite because it is the best in FCS in the country, obviously. But so we got things moving and we kept scoring. So, to stay in the game. Now the big key was 17-10, and we scored, and we went for 2. We didn't just line up and go for 2. We just, lined up as you're going, like, let's see what they're doing, and then we come back to kick it. But we didn't. It was wide open. Boom. We were up 18-17. And then, despite being down 38-28 going into the fourth quarter, you knew, boom, touchdown. Easy stop, touchdown. Now, they did come back and come down to their 22-yard line. But you just had this feeling, it's like, this kid's not going to beat us. He's just not. And winning this type of game is just more of a confidence builder. People like to go off because they're haters. When they hate a team and a team beats a lower caliber team, but just barely, they go off on it. Why should Montana be ranked number 4th? You know why Montana should be ranked number 4th or even number 1? Because they're the only team in the country to beat 2 teams ranked in the top 13 at the FCS level. Yes, North Dakota is still winning, 13th in the country. Idaho, number 11 in the country. So we're as good as anyone out there, and we will get our shot at taking them down. Now, this Cal Poly team, they can pass, but sorta. They had their number 3 quarterback in there, and their number 1 quarterback who got hurt in, I want to say, the Stephen F. Austin game. He got hurt in that game, and he's a transfer from Pitt. You know, what people need to realize is it's up to Montana. Every game this year before the Brawl of the Wild, Montana gets to decide who wins. It's all about, they can raise their level all they want, put down their level all they want. Montana's the better team and going forward. Now, Cal Poly played currently 6th ranked UC Davis, Big Sky School, pretty well. Now, it was 34-27, but that touchdown did cut it to 7 at the end of the game. So it's like, you know, with 2 minutes to go. But still, you're in the game no matter how you slice it. You get within 7, you're in the game. And this is a team that went on the road to Sauk State and beat Sauk State, or 32-24. And Sauk State was ranked 21st in the country. And for those of you who are not quite in this season Grizz bandwagon area, Sauk State is obviously Sacramento State, which brings me to a huge point. Sacramento State, we play Sacramento State 2 weeks from the airing of this video on Friday, October 24th. So check your local listings, because, you know, the Sauce Network will be airing a great preview video like this one for the Sauk State game, but it will not be on Friday. It probably won't be on Friday unless it's really in the afternoon. Granted, they do play late, but you're going to want to make sure you get your knowledge and Grizz hype ready for what's coming when we go to Sauk State and get their best effort. But that's in 2 weeks. We don't want to look past anyone. In Cal Poly, 3-3. 1 was to FAS Utah, so that doesn't even count. So this is a pretty good football team. No one's going to come into Washington Grizzly Stadium this year and get a win. They're just not, and we all know that as a Grizz Nation, Kyle style. But yeah, so Montana, they got Cal Poly can throw the ball, and when they bring in different quarterbacks, because they played 4, they can bring in different quarterbacks with different styles. But we just want to clamp down on the passing game, and what we will get going on offense this week will be the running game will be back with its 200 yards. You're going to get your balanced 200 plus rushing, 200 yards passing, easy for me to say. And we're going to get the job done and move on and come back here and get ready for Sacred State. Sacred Heart. Jeez, I can't say anything here, but this video has been messing up like 12 times. I tried to do this thing 100 times, so it's not the best of all time. But Montana is. We're going to party like it's 1995 with the burnt copper and gold. Watch. You're going to be tuning in 4 o'clock Eastern, ESPN Plus, and going, where's the maroon and silver? Where's the maroon and silver? No. Burnt copper and gold, sexy bear on the helmet. Be ready for that. And we're going to go out and bury Cal Poly. I know Kyle always trying to go, well, what's he betting? I'm not sure what the spread is. Less than 14, it's going to be, that's light to me. But really, there's going to be points again. There's going to be points. I mean, if it sings in the low 60s again, yeah, the Grizz will carry their load and then some, and carry this 2 and over. It gets into the 66, 67, But that's the thing. I didn't look at the point spread this week because it's about winning the national title. And no matter what you see in the future videos of this, no matter how much I'm trying to convince you, if we don't have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, we're not going to win the national title. I will try to convince you that we can, but we need home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We needed 6 out of 7 at home to start the season. We need 8 home games that is going to turn into 11. I admit that everything is working out perfectly. This team is young, and they're getting better every week. So we're going to hit them so hard that it's damn near criminal. So we'll see you guys in the next video, and let's go dominate.
Yeah, so you know what's crazy is he hasn't lost a bet on a Montana game this year. Seriously, he's 5-0. He bet Montana. He picked Montana to cover the number 3 times, and then went over. No, he might be 4-0. But yeah, I don't think he hasn't lost one yet. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. See you all 10 a.m. Eastern time for the college football show. We'll be going through like 35 games as always. I have a video up where I go through, I think, 23 or 24 of them. It's up right now. If you want to go listen to me talk about college football for an hour and a half, yeah. Let's have a good weekend, guys. Let's bet responsibly. See you all.